everyone. Thank you so much for joining me today in the kitchen. My name is Amy Height. I'm a holistic nutritionist and an advocate of eating lots of real food all the time. So we are here today learning how to make zucchini pesto pasta. Particularly if you are transitioning to a plant-based or a gluten-free diet, you may realize that there are some things that you're not eating as much of or you just can't eat anymore. And one of the biggest questions I get all the time is, what do I do about noodles? I can't eat them anymore. What can I have instead? So today we're going to learn how to do two things at once. One, work in more veggies, bonus, and two, have noodles that are actually really awesome for us. And we're going to do that using some really beautiful fresh produce, some yummy spices, and a little trick with the blender. So let's get started. We're going to start by making our pasta, and we have our fantastic zucchini all set up to do this, and one of the coolest kitchen implements that I know. This is the spiralizer, and what it's going to allow us to do is turn our otherwise regular zucchini into noodles. How great is that? If you don't have a spiralizer, no problem. You can use a potato peeler, a julienne slicer, or even a carrot peeler to do essentially the same thing. What that will do instead is create more of a linguine-like noodle, but today we're going for fancy pants spirals. So I'm going to mount our little zucchini on here, exerting a little bit of force on it to push it through. And what this starts to do as you turn is create noodles. Look at that. This is great because it's super quick, particularly if you're looking for a really fast weeknight meal or an easy lunch you can throw together, on your way out the door. Super quick to do because it takes all of about 30 seconds to process through an entire zucchini. So I'm going to meet you back here in a sec with all the rest of our zucchini spiralized, and then we'll get on to our next step. Okay, so we have our zucchini spiralized. These are our super awesome noodles. You can see they kind of make these awesome noodly strands. Beautiful. So we're going to set these aside and move on to the pesto that's actually going to be the sauce for our noodles. Okay, so let's look at what we've got going on here so you know what we have working into our pesto. So the base of most pestos, you have basil and other fresh herbs and spices. And if you're not doing a vegan recipe, often these will have cheese in them. So what we're going to use today, instead of like a cheesy base, we have some delicious nutritional yeast. And this guy here is nutritional yeast. It's a deactivated yeast grown very similarly to a brewer's yeast, but it has this really yummy sort of cheesy flavor. It's super high in B vitamins, which is an important thing to be looking out for if you are eating entirely plant-based, and that's actually because of all of the little microbes that live on the plant. So good to know, work that into your life. It's delicious, it tastes like cheese. We are also using as our base, we have some walnuts, just plain raw walnuts. We've got some beautiful fresh basil. We have Italian parsley, and we also have our black pepper, our sea salt, and probably my favorite oil of all time, avocado oil. If you have never tried this, please do. It's delicious. So what we're going to do is toss everything into the blender. We have a Vitamix here, but if you don't have a super high speed blender, that's okay too. It may just require a little more mixing, and that's all right. But what we'll start by doing is blending up our walnuts. We want them in sort of a crumb-like consistency. So we're going to dump those in. And then we're going to blend. Not bad, right? Pretty darn quick. So from there, you just want to go through your basil and make sure that you pull out any of the big stems. So the smaller ones on each leaf, those are okay, but do just tear off the bigger ones and get them out of the way. We're going to toss everybody in the blender. In goes the basil. In goes the parsley. In goes your nutritional yeast. I'm going to toss in just a touch of black pepper. This you can kind of do to taste, and you can adjust afterwards if you'd like, so no stress on exact amounts with this. Tiny pinch of sea salt. I'm going to throw him in there as well. Okay, now here's a trick with the blender. So we want to get this starting to blend just a touch, and then we're going to add in our avocado oil as it's mixing. So what this actually helps to do is help the blender incorporate everything, and gets it to a nice smooth consistency and takes less work for you. So we're going to put in 1/3 cup of the avocado oil, measuring it out like that. I'm going to turn on our little blender friend. All right, look at that color already. Isn't it fabulous? This is just, it's gorgeous. So what we'll do as well is just help the blender out a little bit, push it down the sides just a tad, make sure everything is getting nice and incorporated. Alrighty. Okay, and once it's all nice and incorporated and deliciously liquidy, we're going to incorporate it with our noodles, just like that, just like any other pasta sauce, super easy. So we're going to bring this guy over here. Okay. In goes our pesto. It's great, particularly for springtime too. A recipe like this with these fresh herbs, really, really beneficial for the body. Fresh, bright greens like parsley, like basil, they're really, really detoxifying and kind of help to break up all of that stuff we've been storing up for the whole winter. So lots of great reasons to eat pesto, particularly if you're making it at home with really fresh herbs. Yeah, awesome. So we've put our pesto in. We're going to give it several turns to evenly coat our zucchini. And again, using the zucchini just as you would with any other pasta. If you wanted to kind of adapt this recipe and make something with a different sauce instead, say a marinara or really any other kind of sauce that you dig. I have some yummy kind of pumpkin-based sauces on the blog too if you want to check those out. They work really well with these noodles too. The zucchini itself doesn't have a super ton of flavor, so really it gives you a versatile base for any pasta dish that you want to create. So we've thoroughly mixed in our pesto here. Everybody is coated and delicious. And what we're going to do before we serve it to our, fun plant-loving friends or soon-to-be plant-loving friends, I have some almonds here that have been roasted. And what we've done is just put them in a dry pan for about 15 minutes in the oven at 375. Super easy, super simple, and it just sort of brings out their really extra roasty, nutty flavor. And for a lot of folks too, eating almonds that have been slightly roasted are actually easier on the body than eating them raw. Go figure. So we're gonna dump these in here, delicious. And there you have it, zucchini pesto pasta. No gluten, no wheat, all plants, all delicious. So the recipe is below. Please do check it out. Give this a try at home and leave us a comment if you try it out. I'd love to see pictures of you, your family, your kids, your unsuspecting, non-plant loving, compatriots eating this, and let me know how it goes. So happy cooking, get in that kitchen and have a great time. We'll see you next time. Thanks.